Hi there and welcome to Startup Central. I'm Nayantara. This is the only show of its kind on Indian television dedicated to, as the name suggests, it's here that we talk about startups, entrepreneurship, disruption, tech, anything to do with the new economy that you need to know. It's going to be here on your favorite channel, ET Now, every weekday at sharp 6 p.m. Like all the stakeholders of the community that we get on the show, the team that puts the show together, the Startup Central team, thrives on constructive criticism. So keep writing into us so we can take the show to the next level. Our email address right on top, suc@etnow.tv. The Aditya Birla Group also has a strategy for house of brands. Think Thrasio. Well, Aditya Birla Group's answer to that is called Tomorrow, and it's spelled in a very interesting way. It's all caps, and it is TMRW. Now, Tomorrow has also announced that it's going to be partnering with / acquiring as many as 8 brands. To talk more about this M&A or partnership, what the future plans are, how it's going to become a 1,500 crore rupee business in the first year itself. The CEO is joining us right here on Startup Central. Prashanth, thank you so much for talking to us here on the show. We really appreciate it. It's the first time the Aditya Birla Group is talking to us when it comes to their house of brands strategy. What is the game plan?
Thanks so much, Nayantara. Pleasure is all mine to be here. Excited to be representing Tomorrow here. Yeah, just to introduce Tomorrow, we are a large, our ambition is to build $1 billion plus house of brands entity over the next several years. Our focus is fashion lifestyle. So we're looking to partner with new age entrepreneurs who are building digital first brands across fashion lifestyle. As you've seen from our announcement today, we've set a very strong foundation with 8 digital first brands, largely in the fashion apparel space. And with that, our current run rate is about 700 crores, and we look to grow this existing portfolio and expand further to a 1,500 crore portfolio over the next year. But stepping back, I think our thesis is that we want to be a tech-led house of brands that partners with founders that have established an early product market fit. And we look to take them to the next level, not just with growth capital, but also a lot of deep strategic, operational, and tech-led scaling path. So that's Tomorrow for you.
First up, I'd just like to ask you one question, which I think a lot of our viewers will also might get confused with. Now, what we've also seen in recent past is Aditya Birla Group investing in very, very famous fashion labels, right? Whether it's a Sabyasachi, whether it's a Shantanu Nikhil, whether it's a House of Masaba. I understand all of this is not going to be part of Tomorrow. It's not part of House of Brands. Is that correct, and why?
That's right. So I think Tomorrow has been established with a digital first DNA, digital first mindset. Our idea is to partner with founders who are today building D2C brands, e-commerce, marketplace-led brands, and help them become large winning brands over time in the existing Indian e-commerce landscape. So if you look at the opportunity itself, fashion lifestyle alone will be a $35 to $40 billion e-commerce market by 2027. And within that, we think the D2C opportunity is about a $15 to $20 billion addressable market. So what we're looking to build as part of Tomorrow is to bring the best of both worlds. We'll bring in deep category and brand building expertise from Aditya Birla Fashion and ABG. But in parallel, we're building a new age team that's really bringing in digital first, digital DNA capabilities. And if you look at the founding team that I've put together as part of Tomorrow, most of them are coming in from both the startup ecosystem, big tech like Facebook and Meta, to e-commerce marketplaces like Flipkart, Myntra, etc. And we think we have a very unique right to win as part of Tomorrow to partner with these founders, which is sort of different to what Aditya Birla Fashion has done with some of the other acquisitions that you're alluding to.
So Prashanth, can I say that your job is to find tomorrow's Sabyasachi, to find tomorrow's House of Masaba, to find tomorrow's Shantanu and Nikhil? I'm punning over here, but is that what the idea is also?
No, that's a great way. I think you put it better than I did. So if you look at D2C, it's still a very emerging space in India. As of yesterday, if you think about D2C, most of them are subscale niche brands. Today, D2C is becoming meaningful brands that are disrupting and giving the larger brands a run for their money. But I think to your point, Tomorrow's brands will be playing on a level playing field with the large national, international brands, including the designer labels. And those are the founders we are looking to partner with, who want to stay the course, build large winning brands over time. And today, so far, if you think about the landscape, very few breakout brands have emerged. And we think we have the right, we want to be the coach and the catalyst to these founders also, but also force multipliers that help these brands get there. And that's the next 7 to 10 year journey in India.
So tomorrow is also beginning its journey with as many as eight D2C brands that are going to be part of this house of brands. Primarily in fashion, they're called Berry Lush, Bewakoof, Juneberry, Nota Nati, Nubero, Urbano, Weirdo, spelled with a V and not a W. So these are some of the brands. Now, what is it? Have you done an outright acquisition? Are these joint ventures? I would imagine each one might be different, but what is it that you're working towards?
Yeah, I think, just stepping back, if you think about the portfolio mix we're starting with, right? We want to be across multiple categories in fashion and lifestyle. We're starting with apparel, but over time we'll also expand into non-apparel categories. So if you look at our first announcement today with 8 brands, we are playing in large established categories which are high growth, like casual wear, women's western wear, kids wear. But we're also looking to partner in emerging categories like athleisure, active, etc. And if you look at the portfolio mix, it not only has large D2C brands like Bewakoof, which are leadership brands in casual expressive wear, also leading marketplace brands like Urbano and Weirdo, but equally emerging disruptive brands like Berry Lush, Nubero, and Naughty Nutty, which are essentially today disruptive brands, but we think they can be large winning brands over time. So we have got a healthy mix of brands at different starting points in different categories, and that gives us the confidence that as e-commerce and D2C further grows in India, we are well positioned to capitalize on that with these founders.
Now, the buzz, of course, is that when it comes to building the house of brands, it's, of course, something that Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla is very passionate about, but it's also his son who's, going to be maybe in charge of next-gen businesses. While you may not want to comment on that, what I would like to ask you, and what the flavor of the season is, and one of the flavors of this year, super apps. We've seen the Tatas do it. Jio's trying to do it. Mr. Gautam Adani's made it very clear in an interview. Are we going to see a super app from AB Group when it comes to tomorrow?
Well, in terms of tomorrow, I think we see ourselves as a house of brands and not necessarily a platform or a marketplace. And hence, with these partners, we'll look at a fairly cross-channel approach to growth. So obviously, we'll invest in their D2C presence, whether it's their website or their app, but also help them grow across multiple marketplaces. And over time, we think at the right time and right place, offline and omni-channel will also be critical. On the question of super app, I don't think necessarily super app is a strategy we would adopt. But more broadly, I think even within e-commerce or across categories, I think super app is still a very early concept. We see ourselves as a very deep vertical focused player within fashion lifestyle. And hence, we think some of our anchor brands will start to become destination brands in their own right, and maybe have a lot of loyalty and community building, which over time may evolve into different business models. But hard to predict today where that goes. But fundamentally, we don't see ourselves as a marketplace or a platform, but as a house of brands venture.
The target and the game plan is to become a 1,500 crore rupee business in the first 12 months. You're starting this journey with as many as 8 brands. How much has been earmarked for tomorrow, money-wise?
Yeah, so our longer-term ambition is to build $1 billion plus house of brands venture, and we think we want to be one of the leading players in that space. And like I said, in the D2C space, in fashion lifestyle, that alone is a $15 to $20 billion market. That's our longer-term ambition. In terms of short-term, in the next year, in our first year of operations, we want to invest anywhere between 500 to 600 crores and build a portfolio of 10 to 12 brands. So what we announced today is the starting point to that journey. Of course, we'll scale these existing brands further, invest in their growth, and also expand portfolio to bring in other brands which not only get us to the right categories, but also the right types of brands which are solving consumer needs in different TGs across India. And of course, over time, some of these brands will also go global, and the global potential for brands from India is also substantive.
Now I'm going to ask you a question for all of the D2C founders who are tuning in and watching. How should they pitch to tomorrow? What does tomorrow look for? Do you have a ready reckoner?
Of course, I think like with any investment or partnership, some of the basics remain the same. But I would say 3 things stand out in terms of what we look for when we partner with a founder. One, founders who are chasing large opportunities. It could be a large category today, or it could be an emerging category where category creators will get established. 2, we want founders who want to partner and stay the course and build winning brands with us, not look at it as a transaction, but as a start to a journey which is 5, 6, 7 years long. 3, we would want founders who've solved a specific consumer insight. They have a problem or a need which they've got a unique insight into. They found an early product market fit, and they see us as a scaling partners, force multipliers, a coach or a catalyst to their journey. So I think it's more about meeting of minds and being aligned on the potential and the fact that we can do it together. That's really the ethos that we're going with. Of course, the fundamentals on scalability, potential, unit economics are par for the course metrics that any investor would look at.
How much time has been given to you to build tomorrow into a $1 billion business to become the mythical unicorn?
Well, we don't. I mean, I think the ABG Group and Aditya Birla Fashion have been known to be, building enduring businesses and enduring brands, and we're looking to replicate that. So for us, it's less about the time frame. It's more about building a strong, sound business which has an enduring potential. And with these founders as well, that's the same ethos we're taking. So
you've used the word omni-channel at least thrice in this interview. So my next question to you is that, at a time when, of course, there's a lot of tech at play, clearly you're also looking at brick and mortar stores. Are these going to be, tomorrow branded stores? Are you going to be in department stores, store-in-stores, individual branded stores? What's the game plan?
I think our approach to offline and omnichannel is there's always a right time and right place for any brand's journey and when they need offline. We don't want to force fit offline too early in the life cycle of a brand. The initial years will be digital first, getting enough potential out of both D2C and marketplaces. And over time, as they bring strong brand recall, strong consumer association, and strong loyalty, I think the right format stores for those brands will be part of the game plan. So we don't necessarily think offline or omnichannel is a necessity in the very first phase, but some brands may need it faster than others. So.
Starting with are primarily to do with fashion. Is tomorrow going to be reliant primarily on fashion? Are you going to look at home? Home is considered to be, for example, a big category. Are you going to look at food? Are you going to be adding categories as you go along?
Our focus is going to be very deep on fashion lifestyle. So we don't want to be horizontal across other e-commerce categories. So within fashion, of course, we've started with apparel-centric brands. We'll do non-apparel brands over time. Also expand into beauty, personal care, and home. So those are the three pillars that we think constitute fashion lifestyle. Anything outside of that, which is more horizontal, whether it's groceries or pets or auto accessories or any other horizontal category, we are not looking to play in. So we see ourselves as deep category-focused players and building a strong forte there.
Is the AB Group money and also its expertise come in the way for, if you're going to scale them up for what the AB Group standard is for mass production? How are you going to help these brands increase capacity, etc.? I'm trying to understand what AB Group's role is really going to be besides maybe acquiring the brands or giving growth capital.
So we're looking to bring the best of both worlds. I think both Aditya Birla Group and Aditya Birla Fashion bring us very strong capability, whether it's category expertise, brand building expertise, the ecosystem relationships with everything from e-commerce marketplaces to all the big tech companies. What we're also building in parallel is a new team as part of tomorrow that comes from the startup ecosystem, comes from big techs, comes from the e-commerce marketplaces, comes from early stage startups. So as a result, I think our goal is to bring the best of both worlds, leverage the capabilities and the networks that the group has, but in parallel build new age playbooks which are necessary for these D2C brands to scale. So that's the intent of tomorrow, and over time we'll also bring in other long-term partners beyond the group to fund our journey.
Thank you so much for joining us here today on ET Now. This is the first time AB Group is opening up when it comes to its strategy, A for fashion, and of course, the house of brands, Thrasio Style, that is trying to stitch together, wants to be a $1 billion business, aiming 1,500 crores in the first year. Let's see how it goes.
Thanks so much. Pleasure being here.